break, the feedback question. What will you be doing to help the security forces to reduce crime?
So I have read the articles, I have heard the stories, I have observed, I have listened suggestions, and as the crime situation has become untenable in the country at the moment, we're seeing where there are greater calls now from all sectors and persons of society to get a hold of this crime monster and bring it under control. I mean, this is a multifaceted problem, and no one program or proposal or proposition will bring the crime rate in Jamaica under control. I see where different persons over the years have made suggestions. Some of them have fallen through, some of them have not been effective because there's no follow-up and there's no consistency in the thing. You understand what I say? I will, with the aid of the CEO of the private sector, Dennis Chung, former commissioner, deputy commissioner of police, Mark Shields, and Trinity, will try to assess the situation and see how best I can propose and suggest ways that we can go about tackling and reducing and ultimately controlling the spiraling crime rate and crime wave in Jamaica. You know, somebody once said it's no longer a crime wave, it is a tsunami soon come. So Dennis Strong is appealing to the government to tackle the root causes of crime, getting rid of informal communities which harbor a lot of criminal elements. You understand what I say? Not be so concerned about implementing new laws, but actually carrying out the laws that are already on the books. You understand? Making them effective, using what we have already. Zane, instead of trying to get more legislation and laws to bank up on the ones that we have already what we now use. You understand what I say? So we need to be more efficient. We need to be visionaries. You understand what I say? This is what he had to say.
In the meantime, the private sector organization of Jamaica, the PSOJ, is again calling for the government to tackle the root causes of crime. Chief Executive Officer of the PSOJ, Dennis Strong, says a new police commissioner and more legislation which are not enforced will not solve the problem.
It has to be at the social intervention level that we deal with structuring the informal settlements and getting some form of record and accountability there. It has to be that we have order on the street. It has to be that we have order generally in the country. I mean, we can't, just because it's holidays, for example, people are playing music till all hours of night and people are doing what they want. They drive on the road anyway. That is what is breeding the sustainable crime levels.
Mr. Chung is also calling on the country's leaders to take the tough decisions needed to adequately address crime, regardless of the public backlash that may take place. For example, holding parents accountable when children are found selling on the streets and enforcing the Noise Abatement Act.
Leadership must take decisions even if they're unpopular or not, because they're the right things to do. Our governance has not taken the decision that's unpopular because it's the right thing to do, because of politics. And that is the root cause of crime. You know, if people are going to lead, then you can't watch what people are saying about you in the paper or watch what people are saying about you on page 2. You know, what we need to do is lead by doing the right things and setting good examples. It's not happening, and unless we get there, then, you know, we're just going to be faltering with this for a long time.
One of the most fundamental issues that we're having as it relates to crime fighting in the country is the informer mentality. And bad man not chat to police and bad man not like police, and you understand what I say? That a kill we. You understand? Because we are not informer for XYZ until something happen to we. You understand? And watch this now, there was such a few things too. We sit in our communities and we see the signs where these young men are trying the power struggle something there, and them stick them roots somewhere and the tree start to strengthen and grow. And we are there nurturing it indirectly, and we see them. You understand? And we know them are the wrongs, and we sit down and look on them because the wrongs now affect we directly at this moment. So we not give a rat's ass about it. You understand? You know, when it becomes a problem when them kill somebody for we, or them steal our car, or them broke with us, or something at the time they become a problem. When we saw it happening and we could have stopped it, but because we're not busy with nobody and we're not informed, we sat down there until them youth have become dance and start sending for with daughters them when them reach 12, 11, so them want to have sex with them and them something. That them the time when them start we have to pay to drive through certain communities and live in a certain community. At the time we start where we can't control because they have gotten too strong. But we are not informed. You understand what I say? Martin Luther King once said, you know, a man who has not discovered something that he would die for isn't fit to live. I'm telling you this, man, most of them problems here, we have a lot to do with it because we have sat down and given credence and strength to these persons and now them reach a level where we can't control them. We need to come out of that. If we see it and we know say it's wrong, we need to address it. You know, we talk to the man directly, but there are means and ways of dealing with things. Think about your children and your grandchildren. You understand what I say? Think about the future where you want for your family and your kids. We can't just sit down idly by, and because it not affect us today, we just make it stay there. So what will happen tomorrow when it affect we, when we could have stopped it? Eh?
Police are also appealing to residents to partner with them by providing information to bring the perpetrators of crime to justice.
We want citizens to understand that criminals cannot be entertained. If you see persons in your community, if they are festering in the community, you have to get them out. Today might not be your day, but tomorrow it may just be your day. So you have to do the right thing. Once criminality is within your zone, you have to ensure that you notify the police because you must get rid of these persons from your community.
Them say a fish come from sea bottom, come tell us a shark down there, better believe him. And we see where two former Deputy Commissioner of Police, Trinity and Mark Shields, are also chiming in and giving their ideas and opinions as to what some of the problems are and what we can do to address them. You understand what I say? Very insightful. They were a part of the situation, so they know what the struggles are and they are able to now speak on them and to elaborate and to make suggestions. You understand what I say? So, pre.
With more than 1,300 persons killed during 2016, two ex-police officers are this evening offering suggestions to improve policing strategies and reduce Jamaica's murder rate. Details from TVJ's Andrew Chisholm.
Too much time is spent in tasking meetings from day to day, planning what is to be done instead of having the officers out there. And that creates an hiatus for an opportunity for criminal elements to perpetrate their crime.
That analysis from former Assistant Commissioner Keith Gardner as the security forces embark on crime-fighting strategies.
I think that what is needed more than ever in the fight against crime is not only the plans, some of which are successful, right? But also the level of supervision to prevent the persons on patrol who should be fighting crime from going and parking under a shaded tree and not doing anything. The cars becoming their offices with the air conditioning on and things. So I think that every level there should be supervision. I think the deputy commissioners need to be out there.
For Mark Shields, a former deputy police commissioner, it's unfair to blame the Minister of National Security or the police commissioner for the country's high crime rate.
One person cannot change the course of 50 years that has allowed us to get to a situation where there are 1,000 murders a year. And I don't care who it is, who's commissioner, will not solve that problem. They can make an impact, but it is about society, about the community working with the police, that's important, but also about giving the police the right resources in order to do the job.
And those resources, he says, are crucial to the task at hand.
I think quite often we see police officers without the requisite body armour. They do not all have less than lethal apparatus instead of firearms. Some of the firearms they're using we know are well out of date. The M16s should have been retired years ago for a more modern weapon. I think that was tried and failed. Obviously, lots of the resource issues are there, and it affects how they can police. So again, I say it's important that they look internally to save some of the billions of dollars that they're given per year.
Mr. Shields reiterated his call for the Jamaica Constabulary Force to reduce the number of deputy commissioners in its ranks to improve efficiency and to save the country millions of dollars.
Them a preach and preach, step over they go beat and teach. See them so me see, beat and teach. So beat and teach, so beat and teach, beat and teach.
In wrapping up this thing, I have a couple of things I want to say. You understand? And this now go sit pretty with a lot of people, but I just saw things set up right now. You understand? We will continue to suffer for as long as we allow crime to be a lucrative business in the country. You understand? We cannot sit by and allow money laundering to take place in front of us. I don't do nothing about it because me I benefit from it. It's alright. You understand? We can't continue to live in a society where the dons and the era leaders of the politicians in them pocket and the police are in them pocket. We can't continue to coexist like that. See, we can't continue like this because what we are gonna do? Just come on TV, come back. You know, make sense. We have to nip it in the bud. You understand what I say? Until we place more emphasis on educating our youths and finding alternative to the guns and the drugs and the violence when they're out of school, the crime will continue to spiral. Until we go back to having families and families that are able to teach and to transfer the right values and attitudes and morals to the children, would not go improve. You understand? We need baby fathers and baby mothers to become parents to raise their children. Not just give them lunch money and food and clothes, but to instill values. You understand what I say? So until we fix that, the crime now go fix. You understand what I say? Until corruption is brought under control, the crime rate cannot be addressed properly. You understand what I say? If a man can put something in a brown envelope and give me and everything good, and we know say man do foolishness, it can't work. You understand? Until political tribalism and partisan behaviors are addressed, we cannot go forward. Because if that man, we know say him is a bad man and he might get contracts, we are supporting badness by putting taxpayers' money in their pocket, and we know say the man a criminal. How we are going to move forward as a country? You understand what I say? These are the things that people afraid to talk about. You understand what I say? And them things that we are talking about, brethren, it can't better until we address the real issues and stop beat around the bushes. It can't improve. You understand what I say? But this is just a very small voice. You understand? And at the end of the day, still it's a Jamaica. Still, you can't even do certain things more time. You see, as the same thing I say, because I be a whole heap of clown about, you know. You understand? But I just try teach them. You understand? I hope I can reach them. See? And I want to beseech them.
Before the break, it's now time for feedback responses. We asked, what will you be doing to help the security forces to reduce crime? We have Lowen Field saying, I love the way this question is asked. I need to become the change I'd like to see. To rid the crime, we need to rid ourselves of indiscipline. And I also have Tamania, who's saying, honestly speaking, it will be a difficult task to handle because we Jamaicans are so afraid for our own lives and we don't even know who to trust. Because even the same police officers who should be protecting us is sometimes a part of the crime wave in Jamaica.
Remember to like, share, subscribe. This is Steve saying, until next time, walk good.